Students at CASE were always very good. And to interact with those students was fun. You would go in the classroom and the questions they asked and the things that they brought up were always very good. So my ideal was really to be a teacher. I ended up doing administrative work for about, 10 to 16 years. So my goal was, okay, I'll do the job, but I'm not looking at the next job in administration. I'm going to go back and teach physics. One of the things which I really enjoyed very much is I developed a laboratory around 1990, which taught students how to do computer-controlled experiments. And the reason I did this is if you went out into industry didn't have notebooks and things like that where they were taking data. They were always computerizing everything. So I said you had to know this in order to continue on. Well, today, as everyone knows, computers are all over the place. But we were probably one of the first schools that did this. I always loved sports. I was never really good in any of them, but I played them all. And the laws of physics apply to all of the sports. There's an interesting article, and I've gone out and given talks at high school on this, and that is, what can you hit further, a fastball or a curveball? Now, theoretically, you can hit a curveball further due to the spin of the ball. So if you understand the fluid dynamics of a ball going through air, it's easy to show that the curveball will go further than a fastball. A fastball, the spin is such that if you want to knock it over the fence, you've got to reverse the spin. A curveball, the spin's in the right direction, so you add to the spin. So even though the curveball goes out slower than the fastball, it has more spin, therefore it rises and carries over the fence. I would teach my class, and then I would change into my overalls, and I would go down into the machine shop, and I would build this display. And so that was a display which was the exact size of what Michelson had done. But the story goes that it's the Michelson-Morley experiment. Where did Morley come in on this? He got the mercury. Later on, Morley didn't believe the experiment, I guess, because he tried it over and over and over and never saw any change. Michelson was convinced and went on to other things. Oh, it's an honor. The Alumni Association, in my jobs as an administrator, were extremely helpful. The association being independent of the university was key. One day a student came up to me and was running out of money. I was on the 7th floor at Crawford, and said they really had trouble. And I said, okay, you go down to the Alumni Association office and you see Roger Cernan. And while she was going down, I picked up the phone and I called Roger and I said, there's a young lady coming down, give her what she needs. So that's how we would operate. And if it was a university, then they had to go through all these government things. Do you qualify for any money? Do you do this? Do you do that? So by itself, it was able to help students in a way that you couldn't if it was connected to the university. So they've always been extremely helpful. They've always managed their funds well, and they've always honored the requests of the donors. So they get a star. And they were wonderful to work with.